Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the squared circle, Ricardo Brown. Mesdames, Messieurs, Arslanbek, Makhmudov! Mesdames, Messieurs, Eye of the Tiger présente ce super choc prévu pour 10 rounds chez les poids lourds. Ladies and gentlemen, Eye of the Tiger presents this 10-round super fight in the heavyweight division. Les juges pour ce combat, judges for this bout, Monsieur Richard Blouin, Monsieur David Terrien et Monsieur Jack Whitburn. L'arbitre, your referee, Monsieur Junior Padulo. Tout d'abord, dans le coin bleu, sa fiche professionnelle, 12 victoires, aucune défaite, 11 victoires acquises par KO. De Brantford, Ontario, mesurant 6 pieds 7 pouces, pesant 261,4 livres. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, professional record is perfect, 12 wins, no defeats, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Brantford, Ontario, he stands 6'7" and weighs 261.4 pounds. Ricardo, Big 12 Brown. Et son adversaire dans le coin rouge s'affiche 19 victoires, seulement 2 défaites, 18 victoires acquises par KO. De Montréal, il mesure 6 pieds 6 pouces et pèse 265,8 livres. Introducing the opponent, fighting out of the red corner, professional record 19 wins, 2 defeats, 18 wins coming by way of knockout. From Montreal, Quebec, he stands 6'6" and weighs 265.8 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, Arslanbek, le Lion Makhmudov!
Okay, boys, I know your heads are above the clouds, but you got to stay grounded tonight. Obey my command at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Let's go.
Six-year-old, 6'6" versus 6'7". These are giant guys. Arslanbek Makhmudov with the reach advantage. Big 12 Brown is a southpaw, little known fact, because he's usually just walking forward, slinging. Oh, a little bait and switch.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a graphic mistake there, Maury, but you look at right away, no love lost between these two big men, and 29 combined knockouts and 31 career wins.
Yes, absolutely. Now this is round one in what is a step up in class fight for Ricardo Brown. But for Arslanbek Makhmudov, this might be his last chance to put his career back on the trajectory. Huge right hand from Ricardo Brown. And another one.
Both men swinging for the fences early on.
This is sort of what we expected. Now here's referee Junior Padullo coming in asking for some technique. But if he's looking for a technique, he might have come to the wrong place. This is a hockey fight on dry land. Ricardo Brown landing a stiff jab, though. I didn't think I'd see one of those tonight.
Oh. And that's the thing, though, with Makhmudov. Early on, especially, he goes guns blazing. And as the fight progresses, if you can withstand the early onslaught, you're able to do some damage to yourself.
I don't know if Ricardo Brown is going to, because that right hand landed flush. Ricardo Brown doing a smart thing holding there, but he's not going to be able to take too many more of those. And Arslanbek Makhmudov is unloading. He understands Ricardo Brown is hurt.
The thing with Ricardo Brown, though, he's never been in this type of fight, but he's never suffered defeat as well. So he's got a lot of pride of wanting to come back out of nowhere, even when he's hurt.
Well, when you think about how this fight unfolds, how it stacks up, you got two really big, strong guys that look across the ring and say, here's a big, strong, slow guy that I can hit. They both might be right. And there's a massive right hand from Arslanbek Makhmudov. Drops Ricardo Brown to all fours. That was going to happen to somebody early, and it happened to Ricardo Brown.
He's on wobbly legs.
Yeah, and I don't know about letting this fight continue. And Junior Padullo does the right thing. Ricardo Brown is complaining now, he's protesting now, but again, he's had 10, 15 seconds to gather himself. Even as he walks to the corner, he looks a little bit unsteady. And if you cannot stand up straight, a referee cannot in good conscience send you back across the ring to face a guy who hits as hard as Arslanbek Makhmudov does.
And the first show of sportsmanship all week between the two men who, but look, I think some people tuning in at home, Morgan, I know what you're saying, but they're going to have some followers here are going to look at that and say it's a premature stoppage.
Yes.
Now, does that mean they're accurate? I'm not saying they are, but you're going to have some people who want to see more in the first round, even though it might have just ended even bad or even worse position for Ricardo Brown.
Some boxing fans think every stoppage is a premature stoppage until you carry that person out of there on the stretcher. But look at this. And you also have to keep in mind the two people we're talking about. One of the hardest punchers in the division, whatever you think Makhmudov's shortcomings are. Overhand chopping right hand to the jaw.
And you see there's already a lump behind the ear of Ricardo Brown that was suffered earlier on in the first round.
And honestly, the only thing that broke his fall was the rope. If that had happened in the middle of the ring, he would have crashed face first to the canvas, and there is no getting up. And so you see that guy's wobbled, and you have to take into account how hard Arslanbek Makhmudov punches.
Well, especially Makhmudov, we know the first 3 rounds, even against Kabayel, he started with success, but Kabayel was able to kind of withstand those early power shots and started digging deep to the body and turning it around, and we see how much Kabayel has had success since that fight, and where Makhmudov really now is in a position tonight he had to win. Ricardo Brown had to really keep his hands up a little bit more. He took too many chances, I think, trying to exchange early on here.
Yeah, when I talked to Ricardo Brown, he said he had a plan. He had a plan A and plan B. Yeah, his plan A was the 12 gauge, you know, and he thought he was going to land that big punch. But he said plan B was to take Makhmudov deep and drown him because of what you just said. If you can get him past the 3rd round, you have a chance. He'll wear down. Those punches don't land with the same impact. But first 6 minutes of any fight, Arslanbek Makhmudov is dangerous. He's short on skill, short on craft, short on nuance, but he does what he does. He wants to come forward, put those lion paws on you. When he puts those paws on you, man, it is trouble.
And that's why he's going to continue to get opportunities. He's an exciting fighter, but technically flawed. But he has one mindset, and it's to go at an attack. But we saw against highly technical fighters like Guido Vianello, or at least more technical, I should say, maybe not highly. That's where we'll have to see if he can improve enough to win those fights.
But the technical flaws are part of his appeal because that also makes him vulnerable. So when he fights, you know that somebody is going to get it. You don't know exactly what it is. It might be an explosive right hand like that. It might be a boxing lesson, just like Guido Vianello gave him a boxing lesson. But you know, somebody's going to get it, often in spectacular fashion.
And look, out of his 19 knockout wins, 16 have come within the first 2 rounds.
Exactly. Here's Patrick Lono to tell us some more.
Mesdames, Messieurs, chronomètre officiel, 1 minute 57 secondes du premier round. L'arbitre Junior Padullo arrête le combat, déclarant le gagnant par TKO. Ladies and gentlemen, official time, 1 minute 57 seconds of round number 1. Referee Junior Padullo stops the fight declaring the winner by TKO, Arslanbek Makhmudov!
And so, as we were saying before the fight, Matt, I'm not a gambling man, but whatever the over-under was on this fight, taking the under is a smart bet. But for Arslanbek Makhmudov, you have exactly what you want, in the sense that you got the win, you got the knockout, you got it quickly, but you also got the highlight reel, because it's a one-punch KO, putting that guy straight on his face. Again, these are the type of highlights that go around social media quickly. And for a guy like Makhmudov, who really benefited for the first 2 years of his career of having that reputation, that aura of a George Foreman, Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson type crusher, he gets to rebuild that tonight.
I know what you mean by the aura, of course. We're not talking about the same level of potential, championship pedigree, but it's that
That's not
scary,
what we're talking about.
That's that scare factor, right?
That
he was
is,
intimidating.
What we're talking about is raw power. We're not talking about skills. We're not talking about nuance. We're not talking about a guy that's going to come to the ring with plan A, plan B, plan C.
Yeah, that's right. And don't forget, for a while, Morgan, people thought that power and that intimidating aura had fighters beat even before they'd enter the ring, and that's why he was the favorite leading up to the Caballel fight.
Yes.
But that's where we started seeing a little bit of his technical flaws kind of be his downfall. But here, he's still entertaining. He's still an aggressive, powerful puncher. We'll see what's next for him, but there's entertaining fights to be made.
Yeah, absolutely. And the truth is, he's never going to turn into like a Jarrett Anderson style stylist. But as long as he has that power, he is an intriguing guy to watch. And we will be back. Let's bask in the afterbuzz. We'll be back in 2 minutes.